audible.
Thank you, sir. A very good afternoon, everyone. Respected Chief Guest, Sir, Sagat Sir, Vice Chancellor, Registrar, Professors, participants, volunteers, and all the attendees. I would like to extend warmest welcome to each one of you to the inaugural ceremony of the first NALSAR-CCI Antitrust Moot Court competition in association with Khaitan and Company. I am Surbhi Parak, hosting the inaugural ceremony on behalf of the organizing committee, along with my co-host Tanvi. So without further ado, I would request Professor Saurabh Bharti sir, Faculty Convener of the MCC, to welcome the gathering. Professor Bharti graduated from Memorial Gandhi College, Jammu, after which he made shift to law from science. He pursued his LLB from Delhi University and then LLM from NALSAR. He specialized in intellectual property laws and then he joined NALSAR for his teaching stint and is now assistant professor at NALSAR. He is also the faculty coordinator for Moot Court Committee and he has been constant guiding light for organizers and other mooting events. Besides IPR, his areas of interest include constitutional law, international law, and jurisprudence. I request you, sir, to address the gathering.
Thank you, Surbhi. Can you confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. In my capacity as the faculty convener of the Moot Court Committee in NALSAR, I take this opportunity to welcome our chief guest, Shri Ashok Kumar Gupta ji, Chairman CCI, our guest, Shri Sagat Patel, Senior Associate Khaitan and Company, our Vice Chancellor, Professor Faizan Mustafa, and our Registrar, Professor V. Balakrishna Reddy, to this inauguration function for the first NALSAR-CCI Antitrust Moot Court competition. Mooting in NALSAR is primarily a student-driven activity, and I am happy to say that Moot Court Committee of the NALSAR University has done tremendous job in organizing quality national and international moot court competitions over the years. And this current team, under the leadership of Tilak Dangi and the assistantship of other team members, are also living up to the same tradition. And today's inauguration function is a testimony to their capacity to organize quality moot court competitions in the country. I must say a word of thanks to CCI for showing encouragement to our students by offering such a wonderful collaboration to jointly organize a competition on such a critical area of law today. Competition law for a country like India is growing in its importance by leaps and bounds. And I'm sure by hosting this competition in collaboration with CCI, NALSAR is giving an opportunity to budding lawyers to fine-tune their skills and prepare themselves to take up critical matters relating to regulating market behavior of the players in the market. This particular competition, the first edition of this competition, I'm happy to say, has generated a lot of interest across the country, with almost 70 teams showing their interest. We received memorials from 70 teams. But of course, the final competition we had to ensure remains a highly qualitative competition. So we had to filter out some of those memorials. So eventually, finally, we have 24 teams who would be competing sort of face-to-face, although it will be happening virtually. But they'll be competing face-to-face against each other. And eventually, we'll have a winner. But of course, like they say, in a competition, all those who compete with the sense of competition and with the sense of spirit of learning, all are winners. So 24 teams are participating here, and I wish all those 24 teams the best. In terms of the quality of the competition which we are hosting, the problem has been drafted by a very competent team of competition law lawyers from Khaitan and Company, including one of our alumni, Nil Banerjee, whom I had the chance of he was my favorite when he was in NALSAR. I don't know if he's present today or not, but if he's there, he would surely have good memories of being in NALSAR, and especially when I taught him a couple of subjects. The problem was drafted by a very competent team of lawyers in Khaitan and Company, and the competition is going to be judged by a very competent panel of judges, both in the preliminary rounds and particularly in the advanced rounds, including the finals, where members from the CCI are also part of the panel who would be participating. Finally, to the teams, I would want to say that we would have loved to host you on our campus. It's a beautiful campus. But sadly, because of the kind of situation all of us are in, Although we have opened the campus as such for the students, but it was still a little too risky for us to call all of you to campus and organize this competition in a physical manner. Hopefully the next editions, because I'm hoping this to be a long-term collaboration with CCI, the next edition of this competition would happen on our campus and we would have a much more robust participation. So with these words and wishing all the teams all the best again, I hand it over back to Surbhi.
Thank you, sir, for welcoming the gathering. Now, I would like to request our registrar, Mr. V. Balakista Reddy, to address the gathering. Dr. V. Balakista Reddy is a professor of international law, coordinator MK Nambiar SARC Law Center, and head Center for Air and Space Law at NALSAR University of Law, Hyderabad. Sir obtained his LLM in international law from Osmania University and MPhil and PhD in international air and space law from Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. He has more than 12 years of teaching and research experience. Sir is an internationally recognized expert in air and space law and has presented several papers in this field. Being a prolific writer, Sir has contributed extensively to various national and international journals on different facets of international law. Some of his books have won international acclaim and attracted the attention of scholars and teachers in developed and developing countries. Besides supervising MPhil and PhD students, Dr. Reddy teaches LLB and LLM courses at NALSAR, which include international law, international economic and trade law, international intellectual property law, globalization and human rights, international environmental law, global insurance regulations, international humanitarian and refugee laws. Now, sir will be addressing the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Good evening and welcome to one and all. Thank you, Tanvi, for introduction. Of course, this is the area where it's coming up, very fast, particularly in the after globalization. We all know that globalization, liberalization, privatization, all these things are giving a lot of competition, and of course, competition in India. If you look at, we replaced Monopoly Restrictive Trade Practices Act, and we have a Competition Act to encourage the competition. Of course, part of the global society now, no country is escaped from this kind of competition. So India is no exception to that. So it's a timely organizing, and we wish all the best to all the teams, and particularly our NALSAR team. They are taking a lot of strains to organize, and I wish you all the best to all the teams. Once again, thank you and all the best.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words of wisdom. Now I request Mr. Sagat Patel, sir, partner at Khaitan & Co., to address the gathering and apprise us with his words of wisdom. Sagat sir is a partner in the Competition and Antitrust Practice Group in Khaitan & Company, which is one of the leading law firms in our country. Sir has pursued his LLB from NALSAR University of Law and later his LLM from King's College London, UK. Sir has been an expert in a variety of competition law issues on agreements, abuse of dominance, and merger control fillings in various sectors, and is also actively involved in conducting competition compliance trainings for clients in diverse sectors. Sir also has extensive experience in relation to leniency applications filed at the Competition Commission of India and assisting clients in dawn raids. He has been successful in assisting and defending many clients before the CCI, the NCLAT, and higher courts. Sagat sir also regularly contributes to many domestic and international journals and magazines and has co-authored India chapters for prestigious publications. Sir, I request you to address the gathering.
Am I audible well, Surbhi? Hi, good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Surbhi, for that very kind introduction. I would still call myself to be a student. I am in front of my professors today. Professor Balakista Reddy has taught us back in the days when I was studying. It seems like a long time, but looking at the faces, it feels as it was just yesterday. But thank you so much. A very good evening to everyone present here at the inaugural ceremony. Honorable Chairperson CCI Ashok Gupta sir, who we've had the opportunity of meeting and appearing before for in many occasions. Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, Professor Faizan Mustafa, and Registrar NALSAR, Professor Balakista Reddy, sir. It's an honor and privilege for me to be sharing this panel with you and with such esteemed dignitaries like yourself. It's also an honor for me as an alumni and on behalf of Khaitan and Company, I am wearing two hats today, to have the opportunity to be associated with NALSAR for this first NALSAR-CCI Antitrust Moot Court competition. I'll keep myself short. It's always good to hear and hear from seniors and with esteemed guests like the chairperson who's present here today. But I think NALSA's expedition into this, the commitment towards competition law and having this association with the CCI is an achievement in itself. As an alumni and also a practitioner of competition law since the notification of this law, this event also is somewhat special to me. I feel moot court competitions help students in gaining in-depth knowledge about the sphere of law. The students get to hone their writing and research skills, their networking skills, and more importantly, the practical knowledge. Such competitions also, in a way, set the stage for students to prepare themselves for practicing law as a career. And it seems like a good launchpad for them to choose litigation as well. And I think through this competition, participants will gain clarity and also realize the various aspects of legal practice. As I think Professor Reddy also said, I think competition law has evolved in India not so long ago, and it's become one of the striking disciplines that has engrossed the concerns of and interests of academicians like Professor Bharti here, lawyers, practitioners, and a wide array of legal stakeholders across the country. And it's somewhat turned the practice into a very required, urgent and crucial knowledge and skill making that is required. The law is not only taught in almost all universities in India now. I mean, there was a situation back when we studied law. This law had not about come in, but we've had the privilege of practicing and learning as we go. But I think law students today have the privilege of learning and this law at the universities, and they also choose to gain practical knowledge by internships focused on this particular area of law, and which certainly gives them the feel of what this law really is. I'm pleased to know that the proposition excels at providing participants an opportunity to grapple with the nuances of the anti-competitive agreements under the Competition Act. The drafters have looked at various aspects and have tried to somewhere bring about a proposition that will really help students understand what are the practical issues in legal interpretation, more specifically on Section 3 of the Act. The vision of Khaitan & Co., which is simultaneously aimed at promoting budding lawyers in the field of competition law in consonance with the robust practice that we are proud of, is also a reflection of the commitment that we have towards competitions of this kind. And addressing issues with a technical and nuanced approach will therefore also help students understand the whole the advocacy initiative of the Competition Commission of India. So with the hope that these goals are achieved and all the students come out learning a much practical and having a fruitful engagement and coming up with innovative arguments, I wish to congratulate and extend my wishes to all the participants. And I would once again like to thank the CCI, the NALSAR administration, and the students from the organizing committee who have tirelessly worked and tried to arrange this among such difficult times in a virtual setup to initiate this collaboration. We wish to be associated with this collaboration for years to come, and I wish everyone all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your enriching words, and I'm sure every one of us present here today feel enlightened. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today. Moving further, I would like to request Professor Faizan Mustafa, Vice Chancellor, NALSAR University of Law, to address the gathering. Professor Faizan Mustafa started his teaching career at Aligarh Muslim University in early 1990s and later became Dean, Faculty of Law at the university. He was also the founder director of KIIT Law School and founder vice chancellor for NLU Odisha. He became the third vice chancellor for NALSAR in 2012, and soon he started revamping the curriculum in consultation with the student body. He has been president of the Shastri Indo-Canadian Institute. Professor Mustafa has always been encouraging the student body to organize events such as these, and we're always thankful to him for his constant support and encouragement. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ashok Kumar Gupta ji, the Chairman of Competition Commission of India, my student Rathi, Registrar Saurabh, and the organizing team and dear participants. Happy Holi to each one of you. Some of you would be working on your moot competition rather than celebrating Holi, but there would be time, I think, in the evening when you can celebrate as well. My interest to competition law goes back to 1986-87. When I was doing LLM and my specialization was criminal law, but the rule was that you can opt one paper from some other branch. So I had opted MRTP. Now that was the law at that point of time, and of course restrictive trade practices and unfair trade practices were part of my course. Accordingly, I developed interest in competition law, supervised a PhD on competition law, and then sent this PhD for evaluation to Honorable Justice Arijit Pasayat, who was the chairman of the Competition Appellate Tribunal. By the way, that tribunal is no more there. And then to a former member of Competition Commission of India, Mr. P.N. Parashar. Both of them appreciated the doctoral work, and as a result, we subsequently established at NALSAR a full-fledged research center on competition law. So competition law is a new thing. Competition Commission has been doing a wonderful job, and the Competition Commission is today headed by a senior officer of a very high stature, who has great experience as former Secretary Government of India in Department of Defense Production, has been responsible for liberalizing FDI policy of the government, is an officer of the Tamil Nadu cadre. So we are grateful to you for joining us for this event, and really grateful to both Khitan as well as CCI for becoming our partners in this endeavor. Competition law is still a new field. Many universities do not have this course. Competition Commission of India has been organizing several essay competitions and other literary competitions, moot court competitions. So we are really grateful that you showed interest in our proposal, and I am sure that this partnership would be there for many years to come. You have a good problem to argue, as Saurabh rightly said, that we would very much wish that from next year on, we welcome you here in our campus, and I hope that the prediction of the fourth wave in June proves wrong. So all the very best to all the participants. And I would also like to thank my former student, Nilav Banerjee, for drafting an excellent problem. And also would like to thank Ketan for their support. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your motivational words. I must say, this event could never have been possible without your constant support and guidance. Now, I request our Honorable Chief Guest of the ceremony, Ashok Kumar Gupta, sir, Chairman of the Competition Commission of India. Ashok Kumar, sir, is a 1981 batch IAS officer of the Tamil Nadu cadre. He has had an illustrious career of 40 years in public service, spanning across sectors from industry, finance, health to defense production. Prior to joining the commission, he has held several key positions in the central government, such as Secretary to the Government of India in the Department of Defense Production, Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Health, and more. He has been instrumental in formulating several government policies, such as the Prime Minister's Rozgar Yojana, Make Procedure in Defense Procurement, and many more. He has extensive experience in industry, has headed and turned around state public sector units, and served on the boards of central and state PSUs, such as Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, Heavy Engineering Corporation, Tamil Nadu Cements, and many others. Before moving to the center, he held various positions with the Tamil Nadu government. A gold medalist in mechanical engineering from Delhi University, Sir also holds a postgraduate degree in public administration from Syracuse University, USA, and an MPhil degree in defense and strategic studies from Madras University. Sir, I sincerely request you to address the gathering.
Professor Faizan Mustafa ji, Vice Chancellor NALSAR, Professor Balakista Reddy, Registrar NALSAR, Sri Sagat Patel, Senior Associate Ketan and Company, Professor Saurabh Bharti, Faculty Convener, Moot Court Committee NALSAR, esteemed faculty of NALSAR, and my dear students, very good evening. At the outset, I compliment NALSAR for organizing this moot court competition on antitrust law. It gives me immense pleasure to participate, albeit virtually, in the inaugural event of the first NALSAR-CCI Antitrust Moot Court Competition 2022. I am happy to know that a total of 24 teams have been shortlisted from various law schools for participating in this moot court competition. I am confident that this competition will be a manifestation of the power of the youth's intellect, oratory skills, critical thinking, articulation, and knowledge in law. I am always eager to interact with the youth, for they have the potential to transform the nation. I believe that I am not just amongst students at the moment, but also future academicians, lawyers, judges, and civil servants. At the outset, I would like to say that students are key holders of competition law. Students play a pivotal role in the future of the country, and therefore the Commission, while formulating its advocacy policies, has designed various programs to cater to them. Capacity building of academia is always our priority, and to encourage and motivate them, CCI constantly undertakes numerous activities such as supporting organizations in holding seminars, webinars, and moot courts on competition law. We also depute domain experts officers to various educational and research institutions to deliver lectures and impart training on various aspects of competition law. To familiarize students with the nuances of competition law, CCI also offers internships to students from law, economics, management, and professional courses. The very fact that the CCI internship program runs through the year on a calendar month basis stands testimony to the fact that students have benefited immensely from this program at a seminal stage of their careers. In the nearly 12 years of its journey, the Commission has offered internships to around 1,500 students from across the length and breadth of the country. During the pandemic, CCI immediately switched over to an online internship, which immensely helped students when other avenues remained suspended. In fact, despite the pandemic, CCI's active engagement with academic institutions remained unabated. Broadly speaking, competition law promotes fair competition in markets and prohibits agreements that seek to reduce or avoid competition. In India, the Competition Act provides a formal and legal framework to prevent practices having adverse effects on competition, promote and sustain competition in markets, protect the interest of consumers, and ensure freedom of trade. It conforms to the philosophy of modern competition laws and an abuse of dominant position by enterprises, and regulates mergers and acquisitions that cause or are likely to cause an adverse effect on competition in markets. The competition law is sector agnostic in its application and approach, and thus covers both public and private enterprises. Let me share some snapshots from the decade-long journey of CCI as a market regulator, the difficulties and challenges we have faced, and the way forward. The Competition Act 2002 came into being after the repeal of the MRTP Act of 1969. This was imperative in view of changing global economic dynamics and the opening up of the country's economy to to global competition and foreign investment. The establishment of CCI, the country's only antitrust regulator 12 years ago, was a clear message to the world that India is ready for healthy and fair competition in all sectors of the economy. The substantive provisions of the Competition Act 2002 dealing with anti-competitive agreements and abuse of dominant position became operational in 2009, and the provisions related to mergers and acquisitions were notified in June 2011. Notification of these substantive provisions of the Competition Act 2002 was a watershed step in the regulatory canvas of the country and imparted a fresh impetus to a transitioning economy where markets were essential instruments for resource allocation. In its existence of over a decade, CCI has been able to build a robust competition culture in the country by actively pursuing the mandate enshrined in the Competition Act. In the 12 years since CCI gained its enforcement power, we have crossed important milestones and made critical interventions in key markets. As competition is a means to achieve larger economic goals, CCI has examined over 1100 cases pertaining to allegations of anti-competitive agreements and abuse of dominant position in diverse sectors, for example, entertainment, pharmacy, aviation, agriculture, construction, cement, sports, real estate, etc., wherein concerns of a large number of market players and consumers, both with respect to cartelization and abuse of dominance, have been addressed. The instrument of enforcement has been applied judiciously, keeping in mind the specificities and peculiarities of the sector dealt with, the market structure, and the nature of contraventions. Appropriate behavioral and structural remedies have been issued by CCI, including the imposition of monetary penalties to act as a deterrent and bring out faster market corrections. In the recent past, CCI has had occasion to deal with various cases arising out of new age economy, such as digital markets. CCI's interventions in such markets have been very balanced and pragmatic, thereby maintaining the incentives of innovation while seeking to correct anti-competitive behavior. The regulatory response to such fast-paced developments in market needs to be nimble and dynamic. It is here that an intersectional approach in finding solutions to such challenges, including through technology-based solutions, becomes the need of the hour and would go a long way in robust and sustainable enforcement of the law. A nuanced assessment based on the facts of the case and the market and technology in question is critical for balanced enforcement. The Indian antitrust law allows for much needed flexibility within a broad framework, as the statutory framework is holistic as well as futuristic, and regulators need to avail such flexibilities through harmonization with other disciplines. Under the merger control regime, which came into effect in 2011, CCI has screened more than 800 mergers and acquisition notices. Conscious of the need and significance of inorganic growth for enterprises to attain size, scale, and efficiency, we have focused on the quick approval of mergers and acquisitions that do not cause appreciable adverse effects on competition in markets. In this, CCI has successfully balanced the requirements of a robust merger control regime with the need to facilitate ease of doing business. Alongside its unfailing commitment to objective and robust substantive assessments of mergers, the Commission has adopted a slew of measures to ensure speedy clearance of non-problematic transactions to reduce procedural burden and make filings simpler. CCI has amended the merger control regulations to dispense with the requirement of providing information on non-compete arrangements. This has provided the required flexibility to parties to the combination in negotiating non-compete clauses and reduced information requirements at the time of notifying the combination. A path-breaking feature in the realm of merger control is the introduction of green channel route by CCI for filing a combination notice, wherein a proposed combination is deemed to be approved subject to fulfilling certain criteria. This mechanism is a first of its kind in any antitrust jurisdiction in the world. The green channel has gained momentum, and so far 50 cases have been approved. This shows that it has been very well received by the industry. Further, it has been the constant endeavor of the Commission to build capacities and update its knowledge and skill sets. For this, the Commission regularly engages with domain experts besides commissioning market studies for robust understanding of the construct of the markets in question. Usually, such market studies have been followed through engaging seminars and workshops which focus on sector-specific competition issues, where active engagement with industry players, academia, and sectoral regulators help place these issues in perspective. In the recent past, CCI has released market study reports in the e-commerce and telecom sectors. A few other market studies are in the pipeline, namely cab aggregators, common ownership, film sector, etc. To achieve its mandate, the Commission has adopted the twin strategies of advocacy and enforcement. In this pursuit, therefore, the Commission has vigorously undertaken numerous advocacy measures to inform, train, and sensitize its wide spectrum of stakeholders so that they do not fall on the wrong side of the law. Our experience suggests that dialogue with stakeholders can be effective in preventing violations of the law and can help mitigate the range of competition concerns and reduce litigation costs besides causing damage to the reputation of an enterprise. As I mentioned earlier, the instrument of enforcement has been applied judiciously only in such cases where business conduct was found to seriously undermine market process and thwart competition. In this direction, the Commission has had an assertive enforcement agenda against cartels, which is considered pernicious. At the same time, the Commission affords participants of a cartel the opportunity to self-report, making vital disclosures to become entitled for benefits under the lesser penalty regime introduced by the Commission. As part of our advocacy mandate, we reach out to our stakeholders in various ways. To promote the culture of competition compliance, the Commission has published a competition compliance manual for the benefit of enterprises and corporate professionals, which also delineates permissible business conduct and behavior and relationship with third parties for corporate executives. CCI has published a number of other advocacy booklets, quick guides, and resources which are available on its website to help stakeholders better understand competition rules and frame in-house compliance manuals. Besides, we organize lectures, workshops, and seminars and publish our bilingual quarterly newsletter, Fair Play. To work in the spirit of cooperative federalism and enhance its regional footprint, CCI opened its first regional office in Chennai in February 2021. Additionally, to create awareness at a grassroots level, CCI has translated its advocacy booklet to many regional languages. As states constitute an important part of stakeholders, to implement competition law in a holistic manner, the Commission introduced a state resource person scheme to ensure the framing of competition coherent policies at the state level, particularly in the area of public procurement. Under the scheme, retired or serving officers of a senior level are appointed as nodal officers and state resource persons. So far, more than 200 programs have been conducted with 10 states and union territories, actively involving state functionaries of various departments of the states. Notably, during the stressful times of the pandemic, the Commission rose to the occasion and took a slew of measures which included the issue of various advisories to the industry to ensure avoidance of market failure and sustainable economic recovery. The Commission also replaced physical filings with e-filings, resorted to virtual hearings, and issued a business advisory to ensure continued supply and fair distribution of products. For young law professionals, competition law has opened up a very promising career avenue. Thus, as future law specialists, law students have an important role in promoting competition culture in the country. CCI also offers opportunities to young law graduates to work as research associates to help them sharpen their skills in competition law and further their career advancement. With these words, I would like to compliment NALSAR Hyderabad for organizing this moot court competition. I would also like to give my best wishes to the participating teams. I hope that this event becomes a memorable experience for all of you and inculcates an interest in competition law. Some of you may like to practice competition law as a career, while some of you may like to research it. I am confident that you would contribute immensely to competition law jurisprudence through your knowledge and ability to argue and counter-argue. Let me also inform you that CCI offers employment opportunities to the bright minds of the country, and I urge you to grab the opportunity when there is a notification. CCI's door is always open for students and faculty, and we enjoy engaging with you for knowledge and capacity building. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Your words were really enlightening and inspiring. We really hope that we can host you on campus sometime soon for a physical event and have an opportunity to learn more and more from you. Before concluding the ceremony, I request Mr. Aryan Vasnik from MCC to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, Aryan.
Thank you so much, Tanvi. Good evening, everyone. I would begin my vote of thanks by placing on record uh, that we are grateful to the Competition Commission of India for their constant support and constant efforts towards making this moot a great success. We will also like to thank Khaitan and Company for their constant efforts and constant help towards arranging judges, towards seeing the moot proposition, towards creating a holistic environment towards smooth success. Coming to this event, we are grateful to have joined us honorable dignitaries from the NALSAR administration as well as from the Competition Commission of India and Khaitan. Particularly, I would like to thank Mr. Ashok Kumar Gupta sir from the Competition Commission of India. He is the chairperson of India and chief guest of this event in our inaugural ceremony. I would also place on record that I would like to thank Mr. Vice Chancellor for his constant support towards our activities on campus and the support which has shown towards the NALSAR-CCI Moot on its first version of this moot. Further, I would also like to thank Mr. Sagat Patel, who is a partner at Khaitan and Company, and I will also place on record that he has inspired a lot of teams in today's inaugural ceremony by explaining the importance of competition law in today's world and how the moot proposition brings out an interesting and complex version of arguments towards competition law and how it will be helpful for the participants who have participated in. Further, we have with us Mr. Balakista Reddy sir, who is the registrar for our college. I would like to thank him for taking out time. Further, we have the faculty coordinator, the Moot committee, Mr. Saurabh Bharti sir. He has been constantly and continuously encouraging us to put activities on campus. He has been constantly supportive of our activities on campus. We would like to thank you, sir, for that. Further, we have Mr. Sudhanshu sir, who is the faculty of competition law, who has been continuously with us on the organization of this event. Further, I would like to thank the teams who have participated in this moot, and from over 68 to 70 teams which had participated, we have around 24 teams who have qualified the memorial evaluation round and have proceeded towards the oral rounds of the competition, which will be held on the 19th and March, which is Saturday and Sunday. Further, I would also like to place on record my deep appreciation towards Anand Das Mishra sir, who is the Joint Director of the Advocacy Department at the Competition Commission of India. He has been consistently and continuously encouraging us to do good work for the NALSAR-CCI Moot competition. He has been constantly in touch with us for various things of the competition, and without his support, we have been able to do this kind of moot with collaboration with the Competition Commission of India. Further, I would like to thank the host of this competition, Survi Parikh and Tanvi, who have been brilliantly hosting the inaugural ceremony till now. Further, we have our head of the organizing committee, Mr. Tilak Tangi, could not join us at this stage because he had some at this moment, but he has been constantly working towards the success of the moot competition, and he has been encouraging the entire organizing committee to perform really well for the organizing of the competition. I would also like to thank the organizing committee who have been tirelessly working towards coordinating with teams, coordinating with judges, coordinating with other people who are coming or we are hosting in the competition and in the ceremonies. So I would like to thank everyone who has been present here at the inaugural ceremony, and I declare that the competition is now open and it will go on till March, and I wish all the teams all the best for their efforts and the competition. May the best team. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.